Okay, cool stuff. Let me actually. What is up, everyone? We're about to get started in just a second here. Just a sec. We're getting set up, and then we're going to go live. I dropped the link for anyone that wants to go live. Let's see. About to go live on Insta. Cool. All right. What is going on, everyone? What is up? Hope you're doing well. I am at the new house. You guys can't see it. I guess Instagram can. We have this whiteboard here that says Ecom House. We're at the Ecom House. We got the setup. All good to go. Really excited to answer some questions today. I know that I think we have some guests that are coming on. I dropped the link on Facebook and YouTube. Actually, it says Periscope and YouTube. It doesn't say Facebook.
Facebook's in the group.
Oh, it is? Did the link drop on Facebook? All right. So Chase says, no, Deirdre, I'm out. Deirdre is here. She's not doing Q&A, but if you do have questions, let her know what's up. Jay says lighting is weak at the Ecom House. Yeah, we didn't set the lighting up for this one. Hopefully the connection's good though, because we're not hardwired in like we typically are. We do have gigabyte internet here though at the Ecom House. But excited to answer some questions today. Let's see. On Instagram, what's up? Amen. Thanks for checking in. If you want to ask questions, Facebook, YouTube, that's where we're doing that. Are we live on Facebook? In the group? Did the link drop there? No. I'll text it to you and you can just drop it. Give me a sec here. All right, guys. I just texted. I messaged. All right. What's up, Kirsten? Yeah, so by the way, guys, I got a MacBook. I don't know if you saw the last YouTube video, but got a MacBook Pro 2016, I think. 16 gig RAM, 15 inch for $825. I also had to pay for a zip card to go pick it up and stuff, so it ended up costing a little bit more after all those expenses, but officially have my own MacBook Pro, which is really exciting. If you're on Facebook, Deirdre just dropped the link for the live stream. So if you'd like to join live, the link is up. All right. So we'll get to some questions. So Connor asks, Amen asks, how can you live in the Ecom House? The Ecom House is pretty cool. We got a robotics team in here. So 2 of the rooms are filled. We still have 2 more that need to be filled. We're a little bit behind on some stuff. But unfortunately, amen, maybe after the project, I'll let you know. Okay, Connor asks, how far behind the videos you're posting? A week or 2? I think they're about, they're like a week or 2 behind. So whenever you watch a video on YouTube, it's typically about a week or 2 behind. I'm trying to think what the actual number is. Not entirely sure. If you want to get the most recent updates, I typically post Instagram stories every day. Instagram is typically the most recent updates, but we are about a week or 2 behind. I think it's like 10 days when a video is released on YouTube. So there's a little bit of lag there. So hopefully that answers your question there, Connor. So I guess I'll update you guys on the Ecom House. So the Ecom House is pretty much complete. In total, I spent a little bit more than I had wanted to. I was like, probably spend like $1,000 furnishing it. Ended up costing about $2,000 to furnish the entire place, all expenses, including this BS $200 setup fee for internet. So everything's good to go. We got a 65-inch TV. We got this 58-inch TV. Paid for someone to hang the TVs, the wall mounts. I'm on a conference table right now, which you guys can't see. Maybe Instagram can. But we got desks all over in the other room, another whiteboard. Well, I guess this whiteboard, we're going to hang one right here as well. But this place is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome coming together. Right now, again, in total, I spent $2,000 furnishing it. The lease officially started on November 15th. I have 2 people moving in on December 1st. Their rent is combined $1,800 a month. So it'll cover almost the entire lease until I fill the other rooms. But then we should cash flow $1,600 a month, which is pretty solid. We got some questions on Instagram. Someone asks, what are your thoughts on your financial goals to date, and what do you plan to accelerate or alternate your methods? So in terms of financial goals, we're still trying to hit the $1 million goal. I got my first sale. So I got my first sale for the coffee business, which is really exciting. Very first sale, shipping it out. That was pretty cool. We've been super behind on the e-com business though. And we'll talk about that in a future video, but, we're still shooting to get this $1 million goal. This place, again, will do about $3,600 in revenue every month. Then we have $2,000 a month coming in from marketing services. And so that's $5,600 a month. We need to get this to $100,000 and $200,000 a month, which we're going to be focusing personally solely on the coffee business once this is all set up. So that's what's up. See, Chase did your little cousin draw that house? No, that's my amazing artwork right there for you, Chase. Let's see, Connor asked, did you flip those desks? You said you got 30 of them for free and each one was around $200. I think that is what you said. Yeah, so Connor, I think I updated it. Maybe I did in the videos. Maybe I just did on, I don't remember. But those fell through, which was really unfortunate. This office was closing down. They had 30 desks. They had 9 chairs, and they're like, you can have it all for free. And these are nice desks, by the way. These are Herman Miller. Like, I would assume they're probably like $200 to $400 a desk. And then we were ready to pick it up, and she's like, it didn't get approved. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, we're not allowed to sell it anymore. I was like, oh, cool. So I ended up getting different desks. I'm not going to move this live stream camera, but 2 of them are here. 2 of them are in the other room. I paid $50 each with delivery. So that included delivery. So unfortunately didn't get to flip those desks, Connor. Joe says 1,600 if all get along. Yeah, I mean, 2 of the people actually know each other. We're being really stringent. We had a lot of people apply and a lot of people got declined. So like we have a certain type of person that we're looking for that's like really passionate about personal development, that has a business that's doing well, that's really interested in growing their business, growing and contributing a lot to the house. And then I'm lining up a lot of mentors. We're going to hopefully, depending on what happens with COVID, we want to do a lot of networking events here and really start building a community for e-commerce business owners in Austin, Texas. Okay, so someone asked, let's see, we have some questions on Insta. Let me get to these. Someone dropped in. Oh, man, it's hard to read these. Darshi says, hey, Mike, just dropped in to say hi. All the best in the future. Thank you. All the best to you. Someone asked, do you sell only coffee pods or ground coffee too? So we sell whole bean and ground coffee. We are going to start offering coffee pods probably like in a month. So with the coffee pods, we have to get a different, I guess, call it system set up for that. and we need to get it all boxed. There's a big upfront fee to like getting the cartons done and all that. So we're going to hold off a little bit because we do want to deploy capital into marketing. We have some really cool things we want to do that we'd rather invest in right now than the coffee pods. But we do want to get the coffee pods up and running as quickly as possible. All right. So Luke asked, can we join the live stream whenever? Yes, Luke. I dropped the link. Seems like you're on YouTube. I'll redrop it. If you just click that link, you're able to join the live stream. Just make sure you have good audio and video. Okay. So I think, Luke, we were talking on Instagram. So if you just click that, you'll be good to join. So house is really coming together. I'm really excited. I mean, the goal of the e-com house is to open more houses. So kind of what we want to do is have different types of houses that have different sets of acceptance rules. So we want to have a house that is maybe $1 million plus business house. So you have to have $1 million revenue or more, run an e-commerce business to live in that house. And then maybe have a couple houses that are like 500 to $1 million, and then have ones that are under 500, and then create that network. Everyone gets to kind of network, and kind of live with their group of people, but also still get to network with people that are maybe a little bit further ahead and further behind, etc. Okay, cool. So I see Luke just joined. So Luke, I'm about to bring you on live here. And what's up, Luke?
Hi there.
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great. I believe we were talking on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, what kind of questions can I answer for you?
Yeah. So I guess the main one would be, I'm a freshman in college at Montana State University. I've been working a lot in my spare time. I was at the business program up here, but I've kind of realized that business is a lot of kids that don't necessarily know what they want to do with their lives, and so they just figure business is like the most versatile of all of the degrees, so let's go with business. So I see like a lot of people around me just like really don't have a whole lot of motivation, and the classes are really easy. My dad's owned 2 businesses, so everything they've taught me up to this point has been stuff that I've learned,
Yeah, Luke, let me share some with you. No one in college knows what they want to do. Like, it's not just the business majors. Like, business is a pretty worthless degree. I got a finance degree, worthless. So I was a business major at Penn State, and like most degrees are worthless. Like, it's not just business. If you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, you need to do some engineering or science where you need a degree, different story. But like, if you're going to be a history major and think that like it's going to be easy to get a job after college, you probably made a bad decision. Mm-hmm. With business, it's very similar, except finance and accounting is a little bit different, because those are like, accounting is a skill set. So like when I got really good advice, and we'll get back to your question in a second, but I was really lucky, because when I was in college, the only reason I actually dropped out of college for 1.5 years. I went for a semester. I was like, screw this. I want to work on my business. And my parents were super supportive. But then when my business failed, they're like, you have to go back to college. So I only went to make my parents happy. Mm-hmm. I think college was the biggest. It was so much fun. That's the only thing that I'll say is like, college is so much fun. I would never take that back. Like if you want to have a party all the time, you should be at college. Like it's fun. But totally worthless. Huge waste of money and time, period. Like people that make the argument where they're like, well, you get this net worth. Fuck that. Like, I have a person that worked for me at Told Media, my development agency. I convinced him to drop out of college as a freshman to join, it was Parking Bee at the time. And then we pivoted to something called Mapify. Convince him to drop out of college to join our co-founding team. He was a designer, and he ended up working with us, I want to say for about a year on our team. Then he left Mapify, got a full-time offer with Shopify, moved to Canada to Shopify's product office. Now, product is like a lot of design and like For anyone that's not familiar with like software development, what he was doing in product was a lot of design. He's a really great designer. So he got a job, $50,000, a little more than 50K actually, at Shopify. Now he would be a sophomore. He worked at Shopify for about a year and then got a full-time offer with Facebook. Now, I don't know exactly how much he's making. I can guarantee he's probably making more than $100,000 a year. So now, if this person would have stayed in college and got this amazing network that you get in college, he would, quite frankly, have a significantly worse network and have not very good skill set. Now, instead, he has on his resume, he got all the design work at Told Media, all the design work at Mapify. He got a year at Shopify, has the entire Shopify network that he built working there for a year. And now he works at Facebook and has the entire network that he has at the Facebook office he works out of. So whenever I hear that argument about network, I just laugh. It's funny.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a poor comparison. But I know I cut you off there. What I was getting at.
And I agree with a lot of it, of what you said. But honestly, the position I'm in is my parents said that I'm too smart not to go to college, or like books, like I'm too good at school not to go to college, compared to my other siblings, because, you know, each one is different. So my brother's going to trade school right now. My sister never went to college. She's a graphic design person. But they said to at least try it out for a year, and they're paying for majority, if not a lot of this year. So I kind of thought of this as, in a sense, I am doing my school to live for free, in a sense, or close to free this first year.
Okay. Are you living at school, by the way?
Yeah, they force you to live on campus.
Do you have in-person classes right now or no?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. But like I said, business, honestly, it doesn't feel like it's necessarily taught me all that much. I took an accounting class and a economics class and all that, and it really just seems like stuff you could either like just look up on Google and get the same picture for. But I'm moving over to computer science next year. So that way, if I end up starting my own business and I want to like program something, I can do that. At least that's the plan at the moment.
That's cool. Well, Luke, what do you feel like you want to do? Like here's the thing. This is my opinion. Like, especially there's a kid I mentor that's in your situation. I think he's like a freshman or would be a junior, and he's like, I want to be an entrepreneur, but especially fuck college this year, because we don't even have in-person classes. Like what I feel so bad. Like my sister's at Penn State right now. You're going through the whole college experience right now. This is not the college experience. This is bullshit. Like you don't get to go out, you don't get to party, you don't get to have all the fun that you would normally get to have in college. And that what I think is the best part about college is like doing all the clubs, the extracurricular stuff that probably doesn't exist now. Like the only things that I got out of college, other than, again, amazing time, so much fun. I would never take how much fun that it was a great time. But also like the extracurricular clubs is what made all the difference for me. Like I was in a consulting club, I was in a real estate investing club, I was in an investment banking club. That was important. That's the most value you get out of college is those extracurriculars and like competitions. There's a lot of really great competitions at colleges. So I don't know if that stuff's really going on right now because all the COVID stuff. So, you know, if there's any time, here's the thing, you can always go back to college, right? Like I took a year and a half off. I'm not just saying like, hey, like I did this. I took a year and a half off from college. You can always go to college. And the sell to like say your parents is like, look, fuck this. Like we're paying all this money for, or if your parents are covering it, you're paying all this money for college. I'm not even getting the fucking experience. Like, why don't I just take a year off? We let COVID do its thing. I maybe try to start a business or something, and you can kind of go from there. That is a decent option. Again, someone I'm mentoring is doing that. And again, right now is a great time if you do want to take that chance and use something to convince your parents with. I think that's a really good, I guess, point to make is like, this isn't the real college experience.
Yeah. But my main question was, like I said, I have a bunch of free time because honestly, business like wasn't that challenging. So I've been working 30 hours a week on top of all my school, doing things like DoorDash mainly. And I've saved up a good amount of money doing that. And I also have, I've invested in a couple other areas as well. But what do you think I should be doing now to I don't know, in a sense, like start my entrepreneurial, job or anything like do you have any ideas like how to just start a business? And if so, like, how do you find a product in a sense? Because,
For sure.
obviously,
Yeah. So I guess this is a great question, Luke. I think what you need to do is figure out a couple things. Like one, you got to know yourself. Like, what do you love doing? What do you not like doing as much? What do you want to learn? Now, when it comes to starting a business, like if I could go back, I've started my first couple companies were software products,
mhm.
and those require a lot of capital up front. You don't make any money. I would never actually recommend that someone starts that as like a first business, because the the risk and rewards great. Like it's a lot of risk, but a lot of upside. You don't really make money. So I put this in 3 buckets. The first bucket is lowest risk, lowest reward, cash flowing business. The second bucket is medium risk, medium reward. And the third is what I just mentioned, which is like high risk, high reward, don't make money, burn, 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 bunch of capital, and then the goal's an exit. So
Mhm.
we're going to take the third bucket out. The first bucket is a service business. There's nothing that cash flows quicker without pretty much any money than a service-based business. And when I say service business, I'm talking about professional services like a design agency, any type of agency, honestly.
Mhm.
Trading time for money doesn't have to be your time. It should be someone that you're hiring and trading their time, but you have to
Yeah.
figure out how to scale it out. That's the first. The second is a product company. So, like for me, I'm starting a coffee company that's a product company. It requires a lot more capital up front to get it off the ground. When I say a lot, you really don't need a ton, but you need maybe like $5,000,
Okay. Yeah.
$15,000. I have a lot of friends that run 7 and 8 figure e-commerce companies, and their recommendation is if you're starting like an Amazon business or something of that nature, start with like 25 grand.
Mhm.
And the reason is you're going to screw up so much when you're first starting out. So those are the 2 options I would focus on. If I could go back to my 16-year-old self, I would stick to that stuff, not even go software route, because like you learn the fundamentals, and that's where you really want to get out of it, is learning fundamentals, hiring, managing, sales, marketing. You can learn all that. Doesn't matter which type of business you run, leadership. So I would figure out like what are some skill sets you have? What are some services you might be able to offer that are low risk, so you don't have to put up a couple $1,000s that you end up losing,
Mhm.
um, and you can still learn the fundamentals. So I don't know, is there a certain thing that you really love doing in terms of like a skill set you might have, or that you could hire out?
Okay. Yeah. No, nothing jumps to me from the very start, but that's definitely something to think about. Um, I know that I've been talking about doing a rental property with my brother. That's what my dad does. And so we've been thinking about doing that, but that's a whole mess with getting titles and finding the right lot and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that's super cool though. Like real estate's awesome. Like if you enjoy that type of stuff, um, there's so many different things you can do in real estate. There's so many different things you can do. And like with real estate, I think a lot of people that get into it start with like wholesaling, which I think is a really great way to kind of get into real estate and start learning how to find good deals and start learning things.
Yeah.
Now, Luke, what I would do is, if I were you, is like maybe make a list of some things you're interested in and then do cold outreach. And
Okay.
someone
Yeah.
else that came in on a live stream that I mentor, um, that has been really consistent on executing on the advice I've given him, get mentors. This
Mhm.
kid has like 4 or 5 mentors now that run very successful real estate investing businesses, and he's like 17 years old, and he's I I think is going to end up working with one of these people full time to learn as much as possible.
Mhm.
But my point is, people would love to help you. Like if you DM, if you're like, you know what, I think I want to start, I don't know, let's say like a food delivery business. DM a bunch of people that do that already that are very successful at it and say, like, I'm a college kid. I want to start my own business, maybe drop out of college. Can I get 20 minutes on a call with you? People will get on the call, on the phone.
Yeah.
And then you'll reduce a lot of the mistakes that you're just naturally going to make like everyone else does. And you'll have a lot more guidance on, okay, maybe these are the things I should look at, et cetera. And you can do this for all the things you're interested in. Spend some time talking to some people, see what they like about the business, see what they don't like about it, see like what do you want to learn, like ask them those types of questions. But I would really like kind of analyze yourself a little bit and be like, what do I really want to learn right now? And where do I think I would like really enjoy? And I would say more so not, I think people get too obsessed with like, oh, I really need to enjoy what I do. I think it's important to be passionate about your mission, but I think like I could definitely find a lot of different things in real estate that I enjoy. The actual day-to-day of the specific work, I could find it in like anything. Like if it's like sales, you love sales, well, gravitate towards that. Do a lot of sales related things in the business and hire out as much as the things that you don't like to do. So I hope that kind of gives some guidance in terms of maybe next steps.
Yeah, no, totally. I think, how'd you come up with your idea for your past business, the really successful one?
Told Media. So Told Media is my development agency. So that was just started out of a failed tech company. So
okay, yeah.
So we were building Mapify, which was a SaaS platform for government to map out their parking in their local area. So we had a couple contracts with local municipalities we were working with, and we were like, you know what? Let's just sign some we I don't know if you know Y Combinator, 500 startups, Techstars. We had final round interviews with Techstars and 500 startups for Mapify, and we made it to the third round. We got declined. So we're like, okay, let's bootstrap. What are we good at? Well, we're good at building apps. Why don't we build apps for people? And that's how we started Told Media. So we got one contract, another contract, and then that's kind of how that business got started.
Okay, yeah. No, I think that answers all of my questions. Thanks so much for taking your time out of your day to talk to me and help me out.
Yeah, of course, man. If you have additional questions, just feel free to DM me on Instagram. I'm always happy to be helpful.
Okay, awesome.
Cool stuff. All right. See you, Luke. Okay, cool stuff. We have some questions coming through here, so let me get to these. Okay. Emil asks, what would you say will be the hardest part of scaling coffee to 25K a month with your current limitations? So, Emil, I think the hardest thing about scaling to $25,000 a month is it's probably going to be the whole, if there's float. This is my first e-commerce business. So there's like a little learning curve, but I have no problem reaching out to mentors and like finding people that can like mentor me and tell me like, hey, do these types of things. I'm a little bit nervous that if I sell something on, I don't know, Etsy or a Shopify store or wherever, that the money won't be accessible instantly. And if there's even 1 or 2 days of lag, that means I can't invest immediately back into ads, and that could cause a problem if there's float there. So until, like, we're assuming I have a $600 to $650 credit, 650 credit score. So until like those things can increase, then I'm not going to have as much access to credit card limits. So I'd say that is going to be the hardest part of scaling the coffee business. Let's see. Okay. Jacob asks, how do you start a restaurant or a food business? So Jacob, I've never started a food business, but if I were to start a food business, Deirdre says I wouldn't, or she wouldn't. Food business has very low margins, Jacob, but I know people that run very successful food businesses. And if I were to start a food business, which is funny because I did this for my cousin, the first thing I would do is I would go, what are my goals of my food business? Do I want to scale a bunch of private locations? Do I want to go the franchise route? Do I not know? Okay. I would talk to 10 to 20 people that run very successful food businesses at all stages of different types of revenue. So I talk to people that have scaled the franchise model successfully. I talk to people that run the private model successfully. I talk to people that have maybe 2 or 3 locations or just 1 location. Talk to as many people in the food business as possible first. That's what I would do first. Second thing I would do is talk to a bunch of people that work out of ghost kitchens. That's how I would get my food business off the ground, Jacob. My goal would be spend the least amount of money possible to validate the things I want to validate. I would assume a ghost kitchen I could rent out on a month-to-month basis, and I could just do a full delivery model and see if I like running a food business or not. That's how I would get started. There's a lot of ghost kitchens all over the place that are popping up everywhere. Cloud kitchens, I think, that's run by the ex CEO of Uber and founder of Uber, Travis. I think he put like 150 million into it. I'm not sure if it was his own money or if he raised that capital, but they're all over the place now, in big cities. In Austin, Texas, we have something called what's the one in Austin? Kitchen United. I think it's called Kitchen United in Austin. There's a bunch of them. There's a couple of them though. So I'd start with a ghost kitchen. I know people that have worked out of cloud kitchens. They really like it. It's a great way to test your concept. But again, Jacob, most important thing is to network with other restaurant and food business owners. Philip says for Luke to watch every episode of Shark Tank. You know what? Philip says that. Philip, that's actually really funny. I used to binge watch Shark Tank when I was in college. I just binge watch the hell out of Shark Tank. One thing I'll say that I think is interesting about Shark Tank, they try to keep it really basic, simple, stupid. In the real world, when people raise capital, they usually do something called convertible notes. That's how most investors do like really early stage stuff. They don't do that on Shark Tank unless I haven't watched Shark Tank in like probably 2 years, unless maybe they started doing that more recently. But most people these days raise their first angel round doing something called convertible notes. They don't do that on Shark Tank. I think they just keep it really simple. Okay, so Chase, which by the way, Chase, everyone, Chase runs, I don't know, Chase, I'll say a pretty successful, Chase has raised a lot of money and runs a really freaking cool company where they sell VR headsets to, training headsets to police, etc. And Chase says that I don't enjoy the day-to-day of my business at all, but he loves the money. So with Chase, I would figure out on your end, the question is like, why don't you like it? Is it like, I hate managing people? I hate doing sales. I hate, like, what is it that you hate? I'd figure out maybe what I really enjoy and just do that. Chase, I know we've talked directly, so I'll say some things like, I'm a huge fan of someone named Sam Parr. He's the CEO of The Hustle. He hired a president to run the company. So I'm not sure what that agreement actually looked like. I'll make assumptions. It's a good salary plus equity plus maybe bonuses assumption. But if I think Dave Portnoy, CEO, or he's not CEO. What is his official title? The founder of Barstool, Dave Portnoy. Barstool's a very successful company. He hired a CEO and he's like, I'm not a good CEO. I need someone that actually knows how the hell to do this stuff. And he went and hired a CEO. So I think there's a lot of people that have done it successfully. If there's certain things you don't like, hire for it. Now that role is very hard to hire for though. It costs a lot of money. Maybe it costs equity, whatever it is. But those are some El Presidente. Those are some things I'd look into maybe. Let's see. Deirdre's asking Chase to come on the live stream. They're just saying we never see you, Chase. You got to come on. Let's see. I've been ignoring a lot of the messages on Insta. Let me try to scroll here. Someone had asked, do you know that there is a difference between ground coffee for it's a little hard to read. You okay? It looks good. Maybe shift it a little that way, a little this way. Yeah, don't worry about it. Let's move the camera right. Cool. Are you good?
Yeah, turn on your fucking notification.
Okay. Deirdre's trying to get me to turn my Slack notifications off, and she ran into something. Chase says he's in a sales meeting right now, or otherwise he would. Is there any comments coming? Okay, Facebook is good. Okay, cool. I can see Facebook. Okay, cool stuff. If you guys have any other questions, drop them in the comments. Okay, I'm going to try to read this. You know what? We get questions on Insta, like actual questions, and I never read them because it's so hard to reach out all the way over here. Let me do that. Okay, so someone asks, can I like pull this up on here? Oh, cool. I can. That's super cool. Okay. Someone asks, how are you going to find your target audience on Facebook ads? So this is asked by Balu. Balu, I don't know anything about Facebook ads. I mean, I know like some of the basics. I've never gone into the Facebook ads manager ever, which is pretty crazy. So to answer your question, Balu, I'm going to hire someone that knows Facebook ads. And here's what's important. Listen up. This is what's important. I'm not going to hire someone and be like, hey, you take Facebook ads, do your thing. Instead, I'm going to hire someone and have them train me as they go. I want to see what they're doing. I want to learn Facebook ads. It's a really important skill set. And by the way, it's something that I want to learn personally. I want to get good at Facebook ads. I want to at least understand it so I can oversee someone to run the Facebook ads. But I can't answer your question. I don't know. I think it's really easy not to run Facebook ads. That's not, I don't want to say that's easy, but I think finding your target audience isn't super hard. I think Facebook does a really good job with that type of stuff. They make it really easy to do that, I would assume. And then I know you build what are called lookalike audiences. So as Facebook knows who converts and who doesn't for you, it starts saying, okay, these people are the people that we need to get in front of. So again, Blue, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hire someone and then have them teach me. Again, really important. Don't want someone to just run with it. I want to know what's going on. I want to start understanding things so I can go in and be dangerous if I need to. Even if it's just a little bit. Okay, let's see. So I guess for anyone on Instagram, I guess instead of putting in the comments, there's like a question thing. I don't know how to do that though, but you should ask your questions in the question thing. Cool stuff. Matthew, what is up? Okay. So let's see. Connor says, I'm starting a fishing company and my mission is to clean up the local lakes. That's a cool mission, Connor. Lake, I'm not going to try to say that word, is filled with terrible bugs and weeds. How would I market it? I take people's old lures and turn them into new ones. With the money that I make from that, I will put into starting the cleanup lakes. Okay, Connor, that's super cool. This is all way past me. I'm not smart enough to know how to clean up lakes. I think it's a cool mission. So in terms of doing that though, Connor, I think there's a lot of people that are trying to solve this problem, at least with the ocean, that I'm aware of. So I would find people that are also passionate about this mission. I think like one of the coolest things in business is when you can find people that are really passionate about your mission and kind of share the same goals as you in terms of like impact. They're going to want to help you out. So I would look up as many projects as possible, Connor, of people that are trying to clean up lakes, and then like figure out how you're going to, I guess, deploy capital towards that. So for me with the coffee business, we're deploying 20% of profit towards saving dogs. I think on your end, maybe you donate a percentage of profit, or you don't have to put a number to it. But as you bring in capital, figure out how you want to deploy that. Again, I think it's really important to talk to people that are also passionate about your mission and let people know on your site. These are the things that I'm really passionate about, and this is what our company's mission is. Our impact that we're striving towards is to clean up lakes, and we also make freaking awesome fishing. I think you said fishing reels, right? Fishing lures. So what's important though, Connor, is you got to make good fishing lures. So for me, I'm really hyper focused on like, how do I make the best coffee possible that people are going to love? So we're doing a lot of work to make incredible coffee. It's not just about saving dogs. It's also about making incredible coffee. So you have to figure out like, how do we really make these freaking awesome lures? And then this is the impact, right? So Chase just gave a really good suggestion, which I've gotten a lot of inspiration from. Look up Tom's case study for their one for one program. I looked up a lot about, I got a lot of inspiration from Tom's when I was doing my research. So I will second Chase's opinion on there. All right. Kirsten hopped in. Kirsten she runs our Facebook ads for $1 Million Comeback. She says, so this was in reference to Baloo's question on Instagram. She says, for finding your audience, you just need to test several audiences and test conversion rates. Always, okay, this is great advice. Always be testing and tweaking to get your costs down. It's really good advice from Kirsten. You want to test everything. And I know I don't have experience running Facebook ads, but I do know the basics. And anytime you're doing anything with marketing, you always want to be doing A/B testing. You want to test your audience. You want to test your landing page. You want to test your copy. You want to test your creative. It's important to test all of those things and look at the entire funnel and go, where can we always get better? And be aware of those tests that you're running. Also, one thing I will definitely say is don't go in with like some minzy ad budget on Facebook and expect you to learn stuff. Like you need to spend some money to learn things about Facebook ads. You can't go spend $50 like, oh, well, that didn't work. Well, you have no pixel built. Like you need to build up a pixel with Facebook. If you just spend, a lot of people do this. They'll spend $50, but like Facebook didn't work for me. Well, no shit. Like you don't know what you're doing. You spent $50. Like you gotta have some budget. For me, I don't know, Kirsten, how much budget would you go in with if you're going to run Facebook ads? I've been told in the past from my ecom buddies, like at least $1,000, like at least have $1,000 to test a product. It's funny actually with this project, the MDC project, I reached out to a couple different ecom people that I didn't know previous, and they also said about at least $1,000. Some of them said $100 per product. I don't know if I like that, but Kirsten, I'm curious what you think. How much you would spend to test with. While you're getting back with that answer, Kirsten, I'm gonna get back to Philip here. Says, I'll get to Philip in a second. Connor says, could I send you my site? I am not buying a domain, so it says 6 on top. Should I change that or no? Yeah, feel free to send me your site, Connor. I don't know what you mean about buying a domain though. So I can't answer that. Okay. Kirsten says, I don't know about paying companies for data. That's what you get for free on your pixel. I'm not sure if that was in reference to one of these questions. Okay. So Philip asked, be careful with hiring a Facebook advertising quote unquote guru. They'll try and charge for data collection. I think this is what Kirsten was referring to. I'd recommend you start the ads on your own, collect certain demographic data on your own, then try and find someone to help with more detailed target marketing ads. Okay, so I kind of agree with what Philip's saying here. I think it's just like anything, guys. Like you got to vet people and like be smart about who you hire. There's good people and there's bad people. Some people are really good, some people aren't. Now, here's what I'll say. If you're going to hire someone to do Facebook ads, the questions that I'm asking are how much ad budget under management do you currently have? Are you managing $1,000 a month? Are you managing $100,000 a month? The person that's managing 100,000 a month, 200,000 a month plus, they're probably going to be a little more costly, but they probably have a little bit more experience. I mean, obviously, like if they're managing that much budget, they know what they're doing with, because they've been managing all this budget, right? Now, the only caveat to that is maybe they're not going to have as much time to dedicate to your project. But in terms, like, if I can hire someone who's going to teach me as we go, I would want to work with the person managing 100,000 under management, not the person managing 10,000 under management. So ask that. That's a question I'm asking a lot of people. Is I'm going to hire for the e-com company. Okay, so I think that's what Kirsten was referring to when she said, I don't know about paying companies for data. Okay, so Kirsten says, to my original question, that it depends on what type of company and product. The more expensive the product, the more money you need to test with. Your first conversion will be one of your most expensive. Exactly. So, like, again, guys, Facebook learns as you go, okay, these types of people convert, these people don't. So that's why it's so important. Don't spend $50 and be like, oh shit. Yeah, and Kirsten says exactly what I was just saying. If you pick a number without knowing specifics, ideally for conversions, you're testing with $1,000 a month at minimum. So that's what I've heard previous to this project. All my friends that spend literally millions of dollars, they've spent millions of dollars in Facebook ads. They have all told me before this project that $1,000 to test with is a good number. So, point is, don't spend $50 and be like, oh, this doesn't work. Okay, we got another question on Instagram. Okay, so this is in reference to like the Facebook ads again. So are you going to hire a Facebook media buyer on commission or hourly? How do you find that media buyer? Okay, so I don't know too much about how people charge. I think people typically charge on a monthly basis. I know there's people that do commission stuff. I don't know yet, so I can't answer that question. I would assume commission would be great. I just want to find the best person. I don't really care what that all looks like. It's good to incentivize people, so maybe we can create incentives for hitting a certain, what's called ROAS, return on ad spend. But it's important to know your numbers. If your break even is a 2 ROAS, so it means you spend $1 in marketing, you get back 2. Remember, you have cost of goods sold, you have shipping, you have internal operations. So if your break even, you spend $2, you spend $1 and get back 2. If that's your break even ROAS, then you probably want a little bit more. Even though, like, if you, in my opinion, breaking even is great. I'll break even all day because on the initial sale, because hopefully the LTV is good and they reorder, right? So I don't know, maybe if they hit a 3 ROAS, you give them a certain commission or something. I don't know. I have to do more research, so I can't really answer that. How do I find that media buyer? Finding a media buyer, there's a couple good places. I would always start with my network. Now, obviously, this project, I can't really do that. So I'm not going to be able to really, I mean, I have a small network, right? I'm running this e-com house. So I actually do know a little bit of people now that I think about it. But if it weren't in the project, the first thing I would do, start with your network. Ask people like, hey, does anyone know a good Facebook ads person that you've worked with? And that's always where I start when I'm hiring anyone, by the way. Start with your network. Second place I would go is Facebook groups. Facebook groups are great. Go into Facebook groups. I've done this we do this at MDC, we do this at Toll Media. Go into a Facebook group, say, hey, does anyone know any really great media buyers that you've personally worked with? Make sure you say that. I hate when people reach out. They're like, I'm a media buyer. Well, fuck you. I asked for a recommendation. I didn't ask for people to directly reach out. So go into Facebook groups, ask for recommendations. That's the second thing. The third, Upwork.com is great. So maybe check out sites like Upwork.com. Okay, cool. Let's see. Oh, someone said this is for, the person asked the question says that this is for a local t-shirt company in Austin. Cool. I'm also in Austin. I'm curious how you maybe found me. You also being based in Austin. Super cool. Hopefully that answered your question. I don't think it matters if it's a t-shirt company or not. I think maybe the price points though. If you're selling t-shirts for like $15-20, maybe you're $1,000 a test. I don't know. But cool. Thanks for asking those questions. If you have more, just feel free to drop them. Okay. Back to, we have some questions on YouTube. Okay, well, Blue says my friend Kyle, is Kyle, posted about you a few months ago, I guess when I started the project. Super cool. Okay, cool. So Kyle's a great guy. Kyle's one of my best friends. Okay, so question from Jacob says, I currently have a small budget. So what would be the cheapest but most effective way to market my business and to reach people? Okay, Jacob, if you have a small budget, don't go to Facebook ads. Like, again, don't spend $50 and be like, this didn't work. You got to come in with some budget. So if you have a small budget, Jacob, I don't know, what are you selling? It depends on what you're selling. I'd be hitting the streets like TikTok. I don't know what you're selling though, but we're going to go real hard on TikTok with the coffee business. So TikTok's free. I hate that word, but organic costs you time, right? If you were to hire someone to run your TikTok, that costs money. Learn TikTok, post consistently on TikTok, learn how to make things go viral on TikTok. That's where I would start if you have a low budget, Jacob. Okay. Anton asks, I have a friend making 500 euros for a full-time dev job in India. Similar jobs in the Netherlands are making 50K a year. I currently have some free time and he currently doesn't want to freelance. Do you think I can find him sustainable employment by hiring him and using Fiverr? Okay, Anton, absolutely. This is like, I call this in the world of freelance and like dev and this is called staffing. So Anton, what I would do if I were you, you don't even have to say like, oh, I run a dev agency or whatever. I would just be like, I staff developers and help your buddy get a job. If you're paying him, say 500 euros, or if you pay him a little bit more, whatever you want to pay him, then you charge, I don't know, 600 euros, 1,000 euros, whatever it is. You can definitely do that though. You need to work with him and figure out like, does he want full-time? Does he want part-time? All that stuff. And then from there, if you're trying to build a business out of it, I would hire more and more and more people. So you're not just offering, his skill set, but you have other skill sets and other people. If people are like, hey, I want more developers. And then you can use him to validate the other talent if he's capable of validating other talent. If not, you have to find someone more senior that can validate talent. Okay, Jacob says there are many options I'm thinking of. I currently have a very small business making fishing baits, which I'm considering trying to make larger. Jacob, do you know Connor? You guys look like you're in the same niche here. Maybe you guys should chat, Jacob and Connor, if you're doing this fishing stuff. So yeah, if you're doing fishing stuff, Connor, Jacob, start making some fishing TikToks. Use any types of fishing hashtags and try to blow that thing up. Cool. But yeah, you guys should maybe talk to each other. Cool stuff. Where are we at time? We got 5 more minutes here. So maybe we'll do like 1 or 2 more questions. Anton says, thanks for your answer, of course. And Baloo, thanks for your question here. I appreciate you joining. We have maybe time for like 1 or 2 more questions, and we're going to wrap up the live stream here. I think it's just really important though, for people like Jacob that are, when you're, a lot of people kind of face this, they're like, shit, like I'm starting, I don't really have much budget. There's really like 2 places my head defaults on that. Is like, one, again, like TikTok, you get so much organic reach. The second though is like, dude, like make some money, like figure out a way. We brought Luke on, he's delivering food, like deliver food, do Grubhub, do DoorDash, do something to make some extra cash on the side over the weekend. Flip stuff. Like there is so much opportunity on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace to make a couple bucks. Flip some stuff. figure out a way to make money so you do have that ad budget. You know, making $1,000 really isn't that tough. Even if you're making $10 an hour, just put 100 hours in, you got your $1,000, right? So figure out a way to get that ad budget if you do want to start running things like Facebook ads and testing out your product. And you don't have to spend $1,000 that first month necessarily. Maybe you could split it up. I don't know. Kirsten knows better than I do, but I would assume if someone's saying like, hey, you need $1,000 to test your idea, maybe you do 500 the first month, 500 the second month. I don't know. But cool stuff here. Let's wrap up. We're at 12:57. So we're going to wrap it up. Appreciate you all joining. If you do have further questions, I answer all my questions on Instagram. So feel free to follow me on Instagram. Shoot me a DM at Mike Black. Again, we go live every Monday, 12 p.m. CST. With that being said, got the whole week ahead. Go crush it. Have an amazing Thanksgiving on Thursday, and I will see you all